Well, good morning and welcome everyone. First, I'd like to do a bit of housekeeping. Feel free to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. And please be mindful of everyone else by muting yourself while others are speaking. You are welcome to put any contact information that you want to share in the chat. We meet here to share deals, look for deals and solutions we have and need with our real estate investment projects. We are not your financial advisors, attorneys, or accountants. We do not endorse or recommend any specific solutions or contractors here. You are advised to do your own due diligence to your own satisfaction before you invest. The first Friday each month is Ask the Attorney with Ms. Catherine Davis. Our meetings are typically recorded, so only share what you want others to know. And then I just have a couple of quick announcements. If I can do that real quick, let me let a few more people in. All right. Lloyd, do I need to reread that if I'm still letting people
No,
in? Should I wait a
that's
few more
okay.
minutes?
That's okay. Yeah, just let people in as we go. Yeah, and we're still being recorded today, so
Correct.
just put an announcement that today is what is it? April 20. What is it?
Today is April 26,
26.
2024.
Yeah, and this is the St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association weekly networking haves and wants session. So yeah, thank you. I told John I didn't know if I was going to be able to be on today, so he got recruited Kristen to be our host or hostess. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let
But
me go through the announcements and then Lloyd, I'll kind of
yeah, go
turn it
ahead.
over to you.
Go
So,
ahead. Well, that's okay. We can go back and forth.
okay. All right. I'm not seeing anybody else waiting to come in at the moment. So, a couple things. John Lee did a podcast with Eddie Speed of Note School this week, and Eddie has a free masterclass next week that he's offering. And I will put a link to the video, the podcast that they did. It's called Wealthy Rewards in Notes. So I will add that to the chat here in a few minutes. And just wanted to remind everybody about our Tuesday night May meeting is going to be May 21st. And we're going to have Jason Schroer, who is a St. Louis County housing inspector, as our speaker. So Jason will be able to be a great resource in talking to us about some of the ins and outs of county inspections. And we're working on having an insurance professional at our June meeting. So keep an eye out for more information about that. Just a reminder, the first Friday of every month, we have Kathy Davis for Ask the Attorney. Kathy is with Davis and Travellini, and we meet live on Zoom every Friday at 11 a.m. for this meeting. We have our first Monday of the month is our networking lunch at Applebee's in Creve Coeur. It's on Olive Boulevard. And I think that's it. Lloyd, are there any other announcements that I'm forgetting about?
No, that should do it. I think you covered it. Yeah, I had that just our lunch and our main event. Yeah, thank you for throwing in about the Eddie Speed event coming up too. Yeah, he's a good source of education. If any of you been to any of his no school classes, it's really good content. I know he has also got regular podcasts and yeah, and here we share a lot of with a lot of information about contractors, and I could give a shout out today. That's the reason I'm running late here today. I told John I would probably just log on my phone because I was out. I had a garage door opener I thought was going to be replaced. But fortunately, I'll give a shout out to Rick at STL Garage Door Depot. He brought along a new garage door opener because in case it needed it, but I had sent him pictures and gave him all the symptoms. And he thought, well, probably there's a gear in the unit would do. So he was able to order and find a gear, and he brought that along to whichever one fixed it. And fortunately, he was able to put the gear in. I'm sure if I called the overhead garage door of St. Louis, I'd be, writing a big check for a whole new opener. But he was able to put a gear in there and got me going for another $200. It'll probably go another 10 years. So, and I was in the process of putting in his name and phone number in the chat. It's Rick at STL Garage Door Depot. He's just a one-man company. That's the kind of people like that. He just likes to work at, like to do his job and do it good and save his customers as much money as he can. And he gets a lot of repeat business because I don't even shop around anymore for garage doors. I got something with my garage door. I call Rick, and he gets me on his schedule and gets it done. Again, it's let's see, I'm putting in 314-753 3667 is his name. And there, it's in the chat.
Great. Thanks, Lloyd. It's always good to have good, reliable people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I found him originally. I was needing, I had some, an insurance claim that said they were going to, for hail on the roof and siding, and there were some dings in the garage door, and they were going to replace the garage door, and they had allowed like $1,200 for a garage door, and I started checking around and found Rick on Craigslist. I think he had an ad on Craigslist. Give him a call. He was advertising $900 for replacing a two-car overhead door, and he said that's considerably less than 1,200. So I had him do the work.
Nice.
No.
Great. Well, thanks for sharing that resource. Yeah, we had Contractor, somebody who's really an expert contractor, has kind of done all facets of that, speak at our meeting this month, Troy Galloway, and he has just a wealth of information. He's also got a lot of YouTube videos. If you search on About the House, he's always interviewing different trades and professionals on his podcast, or his YouTube videos are always a different kind of topic that's relevant to investors, flippers, or just general homeowners on different things to be aware of with working with contractors or doing repairs to the house, maintenance, that type of thing. So I can include his information in the chat as well.
Yeah. If you missed Tuesday's meeting, our April meeting, he was a really good speaker. In fact, he gave away 2 of his books as we'd have raffled off, but he brought along another 20, and he sold most of the rest of the books he had there too. I came back with one too. So, and I've listened to some of his podcasts, very, very informative, even thorough. He goes on in-depth discussions with some of the contractors that he's worked with and recommends. So, I don't know if anybody else has. Well, I'll get my 2 cents in before I forget about it. While everybody else is thinking about what they want to talk about today here, I know it was mentioned. I'm looking for another contractor. Somebody mentioned it. I thought it was Mark Korwitz, but maybe not. We'll put you on the spot, Mark. Could be I'm just forgetting. I'm looking for somebody that can install an egress window in a basement where you got to dig out, make a cut in the basement concrete wall and install a window and the well around it to do it. My son is looking to do that in his basement. He lives in Afton. And I recall, I didn't go back. It's sometime in the last couple of years we've been doing this networking. Somebody brought it up, and I probably got it in my notes somewhere, but I haven't had a chance to dig through it yet. So I thought, I'll bring it up today here. Maybe somebody has somebody that I haven't heard about that does that kind of work.
I have a resource for you, Lloyd. I'm looking at his contact info. He's on the Illinois side, but he specializes in egress windows. He comes highly recommended. I met him through another investor who just highly recommends him and does a lot of flips. So I haven't used him, but it is absolutely the person I would call. And I talked to him and stuff before. Just seems like a really great guy. But let me find his contact info here and get it over to you in a second.
Great.
Last name is Grodefent, but I just need to find the rest of it.
Okay. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you can put that in the chat when you're done. I'll jot it down. So,
Yep.
Hey Lloyd,
hey, Christopher, what's up?
hi, how you doing?
Okay, how about you?
I'm doing fine. I just want to give a shout out to Laura Lennington. Laura and I have been working for the last 2 weeks about a deal, a very, very complex deal, and she came out with a flying color. She's responsive, she's very good, she's prompt, and she did a great job. I want everybody to know that. She's very helpful. When you call her, she calls you back and she makes sure that everything goes right. So she's a very good person to work with when you have it, especially a complex deal like I did. So shout out to Laura Lennington. Great job, Laura.
Thanks, Christopher. It was fun working with you, and I really appreciate that. Thanks. You've been wonderful as well. So obviously
you.
it goes both ways. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it was definitely a challenging one, but it's really fun to see it come together at the end of the day. So thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, good. Good to hear that Laura took care of somebody else. And I know she's done good work found a buyer for a friend of mine's house who was trying to sell his mother's house and not that long ago. So she's a
Hey,
good.
this is Ann Bearden. Yeah, and
Hey,
I can definitely vouch for Laura. She does an excellent job.
Thanks,
So I
Ann.
second that. Yeah.
No, it'd be 30. Scott Winkleman just put a a comment in the chat.
Yeah, Scott and I are working on
Yeah.
a potential deal together now. That'd be cool if it came together for us. So hey, Scott.
Keep both hands on the wheel there, Scott, while you're driving. No. Okay.
Hi, Lloyd. This is
Hey,
Ann
Ann.
Bollinger.
Hey, we got both hands on here today. Great.
We do. I'll follow the other Ann. So I received an email from one of our past property managers giving us an update from the House legislature. And I don't know if Kathy's covered this, but this email only came to me about 10 days ago. So I don't think Kathy has been on since. And the headline in the email, it says Missouri House passes legislation to restrict local government authority over landlord practices. And then the highlight in it is that the House of Representatives passed a bill significantly that local government, so in this case it'd probably be City of St. Louis, that requires landlords to accept federal housing vouchers, which is Section 8. And I don't know if anyone knows if it has been approved by the Senate and signed by the governor or any other updates to this, but this was new.
Okay. Well, if anybody would know, I think it might be David Soto. I see he's on here. He's running to be a state rep for his areas, and I know he keeps in tabs of what's going on in Jeff City. Are you familiar with that, Dave?
I am. So I believe parts of St. Louis already requires that you accept Section 8. Kansas City just passed a law, and it actually just started that landlords have to accept Section 8. And we fought against that, saying that it's our business if we want to accept it or not. And so then state legislature did put a bill in where you can't require somebody to accept Section 8. It did get passed. It's ballots in the Senate, and once it gets past the Senate, it'll go to the governor for signing, but that won't take place for a while. It won't go into effect till August 28th. So yes, there is such a bill.
Okay.
Thanks for that
okay.
update.
Yeah. Thanks for that update, and I hope you'll keep us keep on top of it and keep reporting on how it goes.
The other one that got passed, and I think Kathy mentioned this last time she was on, is that eviction moratoriums that municipalities can't on their own just create an eviction moratorium. So that also passed, and that's in the Senate. So Senate is acting, they're misbehaving right now. So we're hoping to get things through. There's a lot that's out there. By law, they're only required to pass the budget There's only a few weeks left, and so we're pushing hard to get these bills through the Senate and over to the governor.
Are you saying there is a moratorium on evictions, or I wasn't clear on that part?
No, the law says that municipalities cannot create their own eviction moratoriums.
Oh, got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, they're trying to, sounds like it's probably trying to restrict the major metropolitan areas from doing things like that, which is where they're more likely to happen. Okay, good to know. Good to know that
Yeah.
somebody in Jeff City is looking after our property rights of property owners.
Finally.
Lloyd, I did get that contractor's complete info. I put it in the chat.
Oh yeah, I see it there. Yep.
Yep, and they've got a website. I got the phone number, gentleman's name. So hopefully that'll get you started. And
Okay, yeah, thank you.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I have one of my nephews is in the concrete business. He knew somebody that had did the cutting, but he didn't know anybody that did the whole system. And I know my son's not one to get into a project. He's got his hands tied up raising his two toddlers.
Yeah, well, I'm just perusing the website here, and he's got pictures of his work up there, and it looks good. He's got even like a full door and everything that he's
Oh,
done.
okay, but it can you get, yeah, that's one way to getting egress.
Anyway, yeah,
Sure.
it looks good, and like I said, he comes highly recommended from an investor who I consider to be picky. So, in a good
Okay,
way. So,
good.
all right, have fun.
That's good. Okay, and I'll go ahead and give it out if just for the recording purposes. It's GHR Contracting LLC. His name is Tim
Grotefent.
Grunefelt.
Yep.
Grotefent. Okay, and it's ghrcontracting.com. His website, and it's 618-910-4299. Okay, thank you for that, Laura, and maybe somebody else can
Yeah.
take advantage of it.
You're welcome. And fun fact, this is just a fun fact. It's not a reason to hire anybody, but when I did meet him, I recognized the last name. His father was my grade school band teacher when I was learning how to play the flute in grade school, which highly impacted me. I really loved playing music while I was in school. So I recognized the last name, asked if there's any relation, and it was his son. So that was just really pleasant to talk with him about that. So that was a lot of fun. He just comes from good people. So
Yep, and it's amazing as big as the St. Louis area is. Yeah, you can run across people. If you live here long enough, you'll find connections.
Absolutely.
They go way back. No.
And Laura, you said he works on both sides of the river?
I don't know. He's definitely an Edwardsville based business, but I mean, a lot of Illinois contractors will go to
Yeah.
Missouri. Yeah. In fact, Lloyd or anyone that reaches out, you can drop my name. He may not remember my name off the top of his head, but I mean, I've seen him a few times at networking meetings, but just let him know where you got my info.
Sure.
If he's busy, that it could help. You never know.
Mhm.
But yeah, I would think that, that he would go to the Missouri side within
Sure.
reason.
Afton's just across the bridge practically.
Right. Exactly. It's not far at all. So hopefully that does work out. And if anybody gets feedback about him not traveling, let me know.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I will. I'm sure we'll contact him. Okay. Who else has got something for us today?
I have some information I'd like to share.
Sure, go ahead.
It's pretty much for landlords, but the St. Louis, oh gosh, I forgot the name. It's the St. Louis Metro Housing Collective Landlord Event. And it's on May 22nd. I will put the link in the chat. everyone is welcome. You can get your tickets. They're free, but you can get your tickets on Eventbrite. And here, oops, it's not pasting. Oh, says I'm too long. Says, okay, let me copy the link again and I'll put it in the chat. But it's the St. Louis Metro Collective Landlord event, May 22nd, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at St. Patrick's Center. And we're gonna have a variety of speakers. We're gonna have an inspector. We're gonna have someone from the Housing Authority. We're gonna have some financial people. We're gonna have some success stories of a person that started as a tenant and now has purchased the home that they were renting and now they're buying it. So it's going to be a great event, and just wanted to share that with everyone. And I will copy that link and put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you for bringing it up, Yolanda. I got that
Mhm.
an email about that also. Now that when you mentioned it, I would dig it. It was on my pile over here, and I completely almost forgot about it. So I meant to bring it
Oh,
up
okay.
in a session,
Great.
but you beat me to it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. In fact,
I have two questions about that event. So is that kind of similar to last year? And also, will it be broadcast online again?
No, it will not be online. We decided this year that we wanted in-house guests. So it won't be online, and well, I'm sorry, what was the other
And the other
part?
question, is it similar to last year?
Yeah, it's gonna be similar to last year, but some different speakers. I just remembered we're gonna have someone from rehab or restore and refab, sorry. So it will be similar, but different topics. And we're gonna do like a round table this year where 15-minute, the different people will be at tables and the guests will have 15 minutes to go from table to table to ask questions and get information that might be helpful for them.
Great.
And the chat is saying my message is too long.
oops.
I didn't know there was a character limit on it, so hold on, let me try to work with that.
Didn't know that either.
Can you shorten
Yeah.
the URL and then post
That's
it?
what I was trying to do. Let me work on it, and I'll let everyone know.
Or if
Okay.
you want to send me some information, either Lloyd or you, Linda, I can make sure it goes in the newsletter and we can put it on the website, maybe, Lloyd.
What's your email? I can do that.
Or if Lloyd has it, he's got my email. He can send it to me.
You have the information, Lloyd, on the event?
I'm looking for the URL here on I printed out the email. Seeing a URL on the email that I printed out though.
I can't believe this has a character.
Oh, is it the Eventbrite one? It's Eventbrite.
Eventbrite, yes.
Okay, maybe there's just a link. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the link I'm trying.
there's a link here, RSVP.
Linda, I put my email in the chat just now. If you want to email me something, I can
Sure.
put it in the
Okay.
newsletter and see if they can
I
add it
have
to
your
the website.
email.
Yeah, Kristen does a newsletter, so yeah, if we get it out,
Okay, let me put it.
Is
Okay,
it's,
I'm gonna send it to you right now.
it's the one on May 22nd, right? So we could get it in our
Yes.
May
May
newsletter.
22nd. Oh my gosh, something, well, now it's not letting me copy in Zoom. The Zoom
Okay.
is not letting me.
How about I'll just forward my email to Kristen.
Okay,
But
all right, sorry.
if you've got it right up there, you got the email on it. If you can just forward it right to Kristen the whole,
Okay,
and then we'll get it in our May newsletter.
all right.
Oh yeah, I was planning on trying to get there.
Yeah,
I didn't get there
gonna
last
be
year.
very good.
Hmm?
And if anyone would like to join us on our we have a meeting every other Thursday. We had one yesterday. So the next one would be in 2 weeks. If anyone would like to join us for that meeting, you're more than welcome. And I can also send you the information for that.
So I may have missed it. Can you talk about your organization just a little bit more? Who are you with and what would the meeting be? Just that overview.
Is the St. Louis Metro Housing Collective. And as I said, every other Thursday, we have a meeting and we meet and discuss information that is geared to landlords. We share all sorts of information, contractors. We talk about, if someone in the meeting's having an issue with tenants, we give them input on that. Contractors, different things that are happening with the housing authority, anything pertaining to landlords that someone wants to discuss. We discuss that during our bi-weekly meetings. And then we have our landlord event. About every 6 months, we try to have the landlord event. Yeah,
Okay.
there it is. Thank you, Anne.
Oh, okay. Ann got it all in there. Okay.
Oh,
Thank
great.
you.
Thank
That's
you.
longer than mine. I don't know why it wouldn't let me. I gotta look at that. I might have something in my app that's blocking it.
Yeah.
But yeah, does that give you an idea of, and it's really based out of the St. Patrick's Center. The person that started it, his name is Jonathan Belcher, Belcher, and he works with St. Patrick's Center.
Okay. Sounds like your organization is kind of aligned with St. Louis real estate investors to educate landlords is one of our missions to give a source of networking and ethical education for landlords. So
Yeah, Yolanda, I've been on several of those meetings and they are very informative.
Yeah, they are. I really enjoy them. They're very interesting and supportive. And Kristen, I just sent you the email also, so you can put it in the newsletter.
Great, thank you. And just
You're
for everybody
welcome.
here, what time on Thursdays does that group meet?
We meet at 3:30, and it's usually about an hour.
And that's at the St. Patrick's Center?
No, we always meet online. It's
okay.
through Meetup, Microsoft Meetup. Let me see. I'll send you.
Maybe
Also,
put your contact information, or if anybody's interested in attending that, how they would get invited.
So
Yeah.
the St. Louis Metro Housing Collective has a meetup site. So if you just Google St. Louis Metro Housing Meetup, probably find the meetup site probably.
Yeah, and when you sign up, they always send a notification, so you can't miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you join the meetup group, you get notice whenever they meet. So that's what I maintain the meetup for our group here. So good. Okay.
I'm gonna just throw this out there, just
Sure.
a little selfish tidbit. So Yolanda, I live out of state and I'm in St. Louis only 2 or 3 times a year. So I did watch last year's meeting at St. Patrick's online, and I did find it very helpful and useful.
Yeah, it is. It really, really is. Did you earlier ask about if it was going to be online?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. I will mention that to Jonathan, that we do have some out-of-state. There are some out-of-state people who, can't be here at St. Patrick's on May 22nd. But I think the reason we decided not to have it virtual this year is because we want to get everyone The space at St. Patrick's Center holds about 200 people, and we're trying to fill that up, but I will mention that and maybe he'll change his mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're always in a Conway too here at St. Louis Real Estate Investors. We have our virtual. We record these, and because we get a lot of during the pandemic we got a lot of out of state landlords or people that were interested in investing.
Yeah,
Let's come
exactly.
join us on this forum that we're on right now, and then we also record since we've got our main meetings on the third Tuesday on Zoom. We record those also, and we've got them available for members on our website. So it's got its advantages.
Yeah.
We would like to fill up our room too, like we used to pre-pandemic.
Right.
But yeah.
But sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
You know, you can't make it. I know I had surgery a few months ago, and I could not make our St. Louis investor meetings in person. So I was very happy, Lloyd, that they were online, you know.
Okay.
Still be there.
I'll bring that up. We're gonna have a little board meeting offsite in a couple of weeks here, so I'll bring that up. That's probably one of the things we're going to discuss is if we should banter back and forth of continuing the recording and having those available, or versus forcing everybody to come out,
Right.
which doesn't always work. So okay. Well, anybody got any deals for us today? You looking to sell any property? You're looking for a project in a certain part of town? Can bring that up today too. Haven't anybody talk about that. We got a lot of other good referrals here.
Yeah, I'll jump in. Good to see everybody. It's been a while since I've been able to make these Friday meetings, so it's good to see you guys. I am looking for single family, well, really any property, but looking for property in Florissant, St. Charles County, or the Overland, St. Anne, St. John pocket. Really no particular purchase price. I mean, they're all kind of the same. So, but anything in those, I'm looking for buy and holds. And if anybody has any wholesalers that have those deals there, or if any of you guys have those that you're looking to downsize your portfolio, or even move yourself into the bank position and do a seller financing and make some money as the bank, would certainly be open to conversation about that. I'll put my info in the chat, but again, looking for St. Charles County, Florissant, that Florissant Hazelwood area, or the Overland, St. Anne, St. John areas. I'd appreciate it.
Okay, good to see you, Scott. Thank you.
You too.
Thank you for coming on. I was just looking through the chat while Scott was talking here. We said Angel is from Kansas City. Had a little note there about what she's looking for. Angel, can you talk? Unmute yourself and.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, there you are. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So I'm from Kansas City, and work mostly South Kansas City. I'm in Cass County actually, and do more deals out in the more rural areas than in the Kansas City market. But I am shifting away from single family into mobile home investing. And so I'm going to be looking to flip mobile homes as well as purchase mobile home parks here shortly in the future. So we plan to sell our house here in Belton, Missouri, and get an RV, and we're going to be hitting the road. So that's our goal. And hopefully road living will be for us. And I do also host several groups on Facebook. We focus on wealth building and internal and external wealth. So I'm a leadership coach. and want to bring personal development to people and business development and those types of resources and information to folks. So it's a little bit different than some of your investor groups that are focused on, how do you flip a house, or what do you need to do to be a landlord? It's focused on, wealth, infinite banking, how to invest money, personal, being a personal private money lender, those kinds of things. I want to bring topics to the group around those things. So, and also internal, what do we need to grow ourselves in order to be good investors and build our own wealth? So, and I have a virtual meeting every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. and it's really a haves and wants. Bring what you have, share, ask for what you need, and we're here to help. So, we have a few people that are not in the KC market. So it's not just Kansas City, but most of our folks are from the Kansas City market that attend that meeting.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, we do have, we have presenters, talking about, building wealth and stressing that. We've had, somebody from, George Anton's, realm, speak. It's been a couple years back. We touch on that from time to time too. So in our presentations. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you could join us today.
Hey, Angel, good to meet you. I just friend requested you on Facebook so that I can start following what you're up to. And actually, Scott Winkleman and I are working on a deal right now for a single mobile home. We admittedly don't exactly know what we're doing. We're learning and we're researching and we're taking it slow, but yeah, I may reach out to you in regard to that. I don't know what that deal will end up looking like for us, or if there's a way for us to work with you on it. I have no clue yet, but I just wanted to give you the heads up. And yeah.
I'll coach you through it. We own a small park in Adrian, Missouri, and so have flipped mobile homes. I have yet to flip one in a park. I avoided those for a long time, but I'm moving back into that space. So I can certainly help walk you through what you need to look for in evaluating those, and ultimately flip it if it's in a park or on land. And I mean, there's really differences. There's 3 different things to look at. If it's on land, attached to the land, it's this. If it's a mobile home just sitting on land where you can still hook a truck to it and move it, it's a different evaluation versus if it's in a park where you don't own the land under it, it's another scenario. So yeah, just reach out to me. I'm happy to help you and walk you through it.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks. Is your contact info in the chat?
Yes.
Okay, great. I will take note of it and we'll reach out to you. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Scott's giving you a thumbs up there too. Hey, what did I see? Heidi also put something in the chat.
Yes.
Go ahead, Heidi.
Hi. Yeah, I just have some private lenders, myself included, but some friends of mine also looking to just develop some relationships with some Missouri investors. They're not interested in doing Illinois at this time, but just focusing on Missouri, and it would be short-term funds. Different people are going to have different terms, so I can't speak for them. But yeah, I'm happy to put you in touch with people or to look at it myself.
Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing at the breakfast. We reinstituted our lunches now, so you're welcome to come to lunch on the first Monday of the month at Applebee's.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
I will do that.
Yeah. See you there.
All right.
Heidi, I'll reach out to you because I have a flip under contract right now. So that's what I'm working on, is getting some different numbers from lenders. So I'll reach out.
Great. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Got my email and my phone number in the chat. If you don't have the chat. It's Heidi Schaafsman at Gmail, HEIDI SCHAAF as in Frank, S as in Sam, MAN at Gmail. And the number is 414-533-5335. It is a 414, not 3.
Okay, thank you. Hey, and before I forget about it, I usually give David Soto a chance to talk about Soto Property Solutions, and I missed that today. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what you do, Dave, since you're one of our supporting vendors?
You probably missed me because I was late. So Stacy and I just got back from Kansas City. We were there for our realtor conference, pretty good conference. But we're Soto Property Solutions. We're a property management company. I am a real estate broker, a real estate company, but we specialize in property management. We have an office in our headquarters in Cape Girardeau, but we have an office in St. Louis, and that's where Stacy is based out of. She's our business development manager, trying to grow the business in the St. Louis market. Full service property management, we like to say that the only thing you have to do is open your statement on the 15th and see the money that we deposit into your bank account. We do everything from prepping the property to finding the tenants, doing background checks, collecting the security deposits and the rent, handling all the maintenance, and getting you your funds. End of the year, we'll send you you get a statement once a month. End of the year, we'll send you a statement for your taxes. So it's all there. And again, like I said, we handle everything start to finish. Our ideal, we have several owners that are out of state and they don't even see their properties. And so that's how in depth we get with them. So that's what we do.
Okay. Thank you, Dave, and appreciate you being on here today.
Thanks for the time.
We get a tough property management question, I usually refer it to Dave because he's got more experience at that than most of the people on the call here.
I'll be hitting my 16-year anniversary 1st of June.
Good. Okay.
I have a question for property managers, landlords, and Dave, I'm sure you've got some wealth of knowledge on this. I did a repair on a property of mine just yesterday, and I hadn't been there, and they've been there about 6 months. I hadn't been there in about 2 months. And I can see it starting to get more and more dirty. There's a lot of kids. And it's actually to the point where I need to say something. And I'm wondering what is the best way that you go about having that conversation with tenants of your house is really dirty and you need to spend some time on it without, coming across, without offending them really. And how do you do that? Do you do it written? Do you do it on a phone call? I mean, what's the best way?
It's typically a phone call. We'll do a general inspection. We'll send in a report and talk to them about it. Is there, and I know not everything's the same way, but my opinion is if it's not a lease violation, if they're messy, messy is okay. If it's not damaged, it can be cleaned out. If you have to clean out when they move out, that's fine. You'll just take it from the security deposit. But people understand people are different. Not everybody lives cleanly. We have had some that are just, oh gosh, they're pretty much hoarders. That's a little bit different because that's a fire hazard and has been. But just for them being messy, it's not really a lease violation unless you have it in your lease. It's not really a lease violation. That's the way they are. As long as it's not damaged, they're not damaging the walls, they're not damaging the carpet. And again, it depends on how long they've been in there. For you have to worry about the carpet. That's totally different. So, and we've had conversations where the owners asked us to ask them to clean it up, and they came in our office and said, "We're not dirty people." They showed us pictures of their dirty house and said, "We're not." That's just normal for them. So that's really up to you if you want to, deal with it or not. But if it's not really in your lease, there's really not a whole lot you can do about it. I mean, take care of the lawn stuff like that. Yeah, that's in the lease, and yeah, they do need to take care of that. But inside, if they just don't make their bed or have dirty dishes stacked up.
Even if it's causing roaches or something?
Well, if it's a single family, that's different. If it's single family, they're responsible, in our lease, they're responsible for pest control anyway. If it's multifamily, that's different, and we will address that as a lease violation.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, this is I mean, I can definitely see past the messiness of objects. This one is just the floors are disgusting. They're just getting, not disgusting, but they're getting worse, and the baseboards, and I don't know. I'd prefer it to be in better shape personally, but I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah. So if it's damaged, that's a different story. I mean, if they're damaging, scuffing them real bad and damaging it, that's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. That's be a kind of a tough call situation. I've had some messy tenants myself, but hasn't gotten to the point of, well, yeah, in a multifamily, I can see you can use the health and cleanliness, sanitary issues with roaches and things if it's causing problems with other tenants. So I guess that's one of the reasons why I'm just into single families right now. I've done the multifamilies, and it's nice to step away from those issues that having, tenants, disagreeing with each other, tenant disagreements, and like I said, one tenant's problem flowing over into another tenant's apartment. But just because you got a lot of kids isn't necessarily. I mean, I was a little concerned. I rented one of my houses to a family that had I think it was 6 or 7. I forget. I think they had a baby. I'm not sure if the baby was 6 or 7 when they moved in. I was a little concerned, but they were transferred with his job, and a couple of years later, they transferred out with his job. And I told her I was amazed. I wouldn't have guessed there were 6 children that lived in the house when they turned it back over to me. So it was very, very well cared for. But it's not just the kids. It's how the whole household is managed, on how clean and well taken care of it is.
I've had tenants where the adults were dirtier than the kids.
Yeah. There you go. Oh yeah. I've had one. Yeah, I had just where a couple had was left the place a lot dirtier than it was. About the same time I checked out the lady that had 6 kids, or the family that had 6 kids, and was amazed how much more work it took to clean out after the couple left.
I have a question along the lines of this conversation, and maybe this is something Dave can also speak to, but I've heard of other property owners in the area who do like home visits for tenants who are applying for one of their properties. They go to the property they currently live in as a part of the process. I think Jen Donnelly does it. I feel like I've heard Brian Schroeder talk about it. I'm sure he doesn't do it himself anymore, but does anybody on this call do that and have experience? Yeah, I'm just, okay, Scott's saying, yeah, I'll be quiet and let people talk.
I do it, especially, I have a couple of Section 8 tenants, and Section 8 highly recommends, and that's what started me doing it, because Section 8 highly recommends that you do that. And I started doing it for that reason, and now I do it for everybody.
Okay.
Because the way they keep their house now, that's the way they're going to keep your house if they move in. Of one time, I said no, because that lady had 8 children, and while I was there visiting, they were wreaking havoc on that house, climbing all on the appliances to get cereal out the cabinets and just everything. So I think it's a great practice.
Okay.
And you actually go in the property. I mean, I heard your story, but you go in and not just the outside look.
I go in to the home.
Yeah, I've heard of people doing that. I've never done it myself. I wanted to your point, I have a Section 8 property. but sometimes it's hard. I have a tenant specifically who I was his first landlord out of prison. I gave him an opportunity. He's still in the property. It's been a little over a year, but I couldn't check his previous, his
Yeah,
previous landlord.
no.
I do.
I didn't want to check his previous landlord.
I do home inspections too, and I let them know even before they ever see my property. That's part of the screening process. That's
Yeah.
actually the last thing I do before they're accepted. Is the home visit.
So
And
how
if
do
they
you
don't,
do that? Because usually I have people come through, hey, I have an open house, if you will, here's my property. Then they want to apply, and then I would say I would go see where they live. But you're saying you see it before you even let them view your property?
no. It's the last thing I do.
Oh,
They
okay.
they see my property, they apply. I let them know all the screening criteria, but the final approval is the home visit.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
And if
yeah, it
it's
sounds like John tells them right away he's going to do it. And I'm sure that keeps a lot of people who, away, who then would, maybe not want it to happen, but then he actually does it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So I just have 2 points. First of all, how do you do that if they're coming in from a different area, moving from out of state or something? Second is, if you do it for one, you make sure you do it for everybody. It's fair housing violation if you don't treat everybody the same.
That's a good point.
Oh yeah, everyone. It's for everyone, whether they're Section 8 or market.
Right.
That's a great point, Dave, because like I have an apartment building, they're studio apartments. I wouldn't do it for that. I just wouldn't because well, I have a lot of reasons. But then like I'm thinking like for my single family holds, especially, I don't know, especially maybe, my logic was even like the bigger houses or the more valuable houses, maybe do it for that. But you make a really good point. I mean, I'm licensed too. I don't want any violations for any reason. But yeah, I guess if I did it for a certain type of property, I would need to do it for every type of property. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Mm.
exactly.
That's
Yeah,
good.
that's a good.
Or why wouldn't you do it for your studio? So I'm just curious.
Time consuming, number one. Number two, like Amber kind of mentioned, like I end up I rent to people sometimes when it's their first place, they're younger. Because that's why they want a studio and they're literally moving out from with mom and dad. Or just typically people who are living in a small studio apartment, they're not always coming from some other established place they were living that was theirs. They often are moving because they're done with roommates. They're like, I just want to live by myself. I live with my kids. They have kids, and I just want to be. So it wouldn't be, a good representation of what they're going to live like anyway.
Yeah, I get that. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I used to do that. I got away from it a while back, but quite a while back when I had duplexes and 2 and 4 families. But I wouldn't necessarily announce that I was doing it. I would when I did it, I would say I would come up with an excuse or something they had on the when I was screening my own applications, and of course they would always left something. Unless you insist that they put fill in every blank, you would always have something blank left, and I could go to their previous address and hey, you noticed on your application here, if everything else was good, that would be like John said, the final thing I would look at. If everything else checked out, I'd say, hey, you forgot to fill out this part of your application, and then they'll give me an opportunity to peek into their current apartment or where they were living to see what the situation was. And
So just wondering, for those that saw housing that's just like awful, I mean, obviously you have to tell the applicant that you're denying them for another reason, right?
Usually there was some other reason, and when I've rejected for
You can think of another reason. You can come up with a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to the question that Scott asked earlier, I do have it in my lease about a certain level of cleanliness, and I do enforce it. I've had to have an awkward conversation. The lady ended up moving out too, but again, it's an apartment building and I felt like she was attracting bugs. So I wasn't see her go. I hate the turnover, I hate the cost, but I enforce it. So that because I know I do that, I can look a potential tenant straight in the eye and tell them. I don't tell them a horror story or anything like that. I just I explain to everybody the same things. Like, we don't mess around on rent payments. You've got to pay. We want people who communicate with us. You've got to let us know when you need a repair. And, we want quiet and clean. And I'll say it twice. I'll say quiet and clean, like that. So like, I do try to really establish those things with them, and I can't tell you how many people look at my unit, say they're going to send me an application, and then they don't. And I used to wonder, like, what, maybe they don't want to tell me they don't want it. And that could be the case. But also I started to think, well, maybe they don't feel like they're going to fit, because I mean business. And I'm very nice, but I tell them I'm very nice, but I won't budge on these items. So.
Yeah. And sometimes I think, I'm glad you said that. I think sometimes tenants think because you're a woman that they can get over and get away with stuff, and you have to be firm and stern and put everything in writing, and these little thing, pay your rent on time. And
I wouldn't even say that. I definitely agree. As a woman, people will try you. I would say I get from a lot of tenants, I paid you your money, now go away. No. There is more to
go
it.
away. Don't ever bother me.
As in, don't ask me to clean up more than, to my level of cleaning. You should be happy with your rent and don't bother them. No.
Yeah. That happened with that girl that ended up moving out. Her mother was a co-signer, and the mother was telling me, look, if she pays you your rent, you can't ask her for this. I'm like, oh, sad, no. And the thing is putting stuff in writing too, like sending the official letters shows these folks that you do mean business. The conversation is the personal touch. I agree that needs to happen, but I also, inside of those conversations, always send an official letter so that they know that yeah, don't push back here. Like, this is something that's happening. We need it corrected, or else we go on to the next step. So that's how I've always handled that stuff.
Yeah, so Laura, that's
roaches.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying, that if it's in your lease, that's a lease violation, you can do that. But I'm curious as to what you consider clean and what somebody else considers clean. If you're not specific about what clean means.
Yeah.
Like I said, we had that one couple came in here that we're not dirty people. We keep our place clean, but it was dishes stacked up and things like that. To me, that's not clean, but to them, that's their point of view.
We had, so we do pest control regularly in our building, and we were concerned about this unit. We had done maintenance in it, and we noticed the issues. So when the pest control person came through like a week later, we asked him, like, what's your professional opinion? He said, it is bringing them in, and it's going to be a problem, bigger problem than it is.
Yep.
So without like calling his name out in the letter, I did write up something to the effect of, professional pest control believes blah blah blah, that type of thing. And yeah, it was in my mind definitely a lease violation. That she had cats urinating not in the litter box, and so it was not working.
Yeah
you can win on that. So
yeah, sorry, I was gonna say dirty dishes will attract them too, though. I mean, so it's
grease.
Yeah, so cool. Great discussion. I'm glad we had this discussion.
Yeah, a lot of people for some reason like to keep old cooking oil, and I don't understand it. And that is a big roach attractor.
I would just add, sorry, real quick. I forget who it was that when you go through somebody's house, you don't have to say, I'm sorry, I don't accept you because your house is too dirty. And therefore I don't want to rent to you. You can just come up, you can just say, we've gone with another applicant, right? And that way it's not, sorry, this is all your fault. It's just, but we've got somebody else. Just wanted to point that out. That takes some pressure off of you.
Yeah, good
yeah,
point.
that's true too.
I'll also just say, like, I'm a big believer in you can be compassionate with people and tell them the truth. Because honestly, even though it might feel embarrassing to that person, you could be the person that told them what nobody else will tell them that actually helps them make a change in their life for the better. Because who knows who else is denying them for the same reason. You know, they're looking for alternative, like a new housing experience, and their current way of being isn't allowing that to happen. If you can be the person in the world who can compassionately tell them the truth, you know, I don't know. I know that's not really a business comment, but that's when I feel like I have to enter into an awkward conversation with my tenants, I really try to take on that mindset that I'm truly trying to help them, not in a judgmental way, not in a better than way, but just like, here's the truth about why this isn't working. And I don't know. I feel like it's a way to add value to people if I can. And they can totally disagree with me and disregard me too, and that's fine.
Hey, real quick, because I know we're at the top of the hour, but to add to what Scott just mentioned, I can't remember who it is, but the people over in Tower Grove to screen my tenants, they sent out
Home screen?
Home screen, yes. They sent out a email not too long ago that you have the option to screen more than one tenant at the same time. So, I mean, yes, that makes sense, but before you were getting the first person, that's who you were going through. So now, to add on to what Scott was saying, you can actually justify, hey, we actually do have someone who we chose to use instead of you didn't qualify. So you can go through the same process that you want. If you go and visit them and it doesn't work out, you could also have someone in the pipeline that, you know, you're not losing money or time, that you could go with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've used that before when I've had, because I do have processed more than one application. If I have an open house, a lot of times I get 2 or 3 applications.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times they don't call me when they turn it in, because I used one that they have their own website. I just give them the website and say, hey, here's my account number, and go apply. And somebody was really, he had good credit and he couldn't understand why, but I just told him that I got a better application. Somebody was more qualified than you were. There wasn't anything wrong with your application necessarily, but
yeah,
it was somebody else who was more qualified.
And a shout out to the home screen. I just used it for 2 applicants. And I from my end, from the owner landlord perspective, I thought it was so easy. I really enjoyed the ease of setup, and then the ability to review their application and the comments that the home screen folks added to that. It was so helpful.
Yeah, I use them too. Just on my last application. I don't have too many vacancies, but yeah, I contacted Amber. Amber passed that along to me, and I used them on my last one. I feel it was a good experience.
they will be at the landlord event.
Good. Yeah. Well, I think that's how I found out about the landlord event. It was through home screen, because I'm one of their customers now.
Yeah, Ella attends our bi-weekly meetings.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. Anybody else have anything for today?
I'll keep it short and sweet. If you own a property that you don't want to own, give me a call and maybe I can help you. My number is 719-648-8365. And my name is Laura Lennington, Illinois or Missouri. I also have a property in Illinois that's creative financing available. If you're interested in owning a house in Belleville, reach out to me for that as well. I can give you all the details on what's going on with that. That's what I got.
Thank you, Laura.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Can you repeat the information about the first Monday lunch, time and location?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't say that. Yeah, it's on our meetup site and on our website. But it's the first Monday, which coming up in May, is the 11th. No, the 6th. I think it is. Yeah, May the 6th, and it's at 11 o'clock at the Applebee's. That's at on Olive, right at 270. Let me grab our newsletter here, and I got the where the address. Let's see. I just Oh, yeah, here it is. 11,950 Olive Boulevard in Creve Coeur. 11 o'clock. And say at the Applebee's there. And it's always on the first Monday. So in May, that's the Monday, May the 6th. Yeah. Hope to see anybody that can be there.
Thank you.
To make it coming up in May or whenever you do. Put it in your calendar. I got a standing date on my calendar, so hope to make all of them. And thank you for Kristen for hosting since John, what was he, getting on an airplane or something? He's he is.
Yeah, he's traveling today, so
Oh,
he's
yeah,
at the airport.
He was
He wasn't
traveling,
able
yeah,
to
exactly.
join.
Yeah, thank you for jumping in for hosting today. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I wasn't sure I was going to be on at all with my garage door, but Rick took care of me in short order and got me back here. So
Great.
okay.
Glad
Thank
people
you.
have his contact.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Amber, and for coming on too. We're all board members. We're STLREIA is a not-for-profit, just run by members who pay dues, just like all the other members. So appreciate everybody's services to keep the organization going. Since 1977, we've been around, so we go back a ways. So thank you all for coming today. Hope to see you next week, if not before. Take
Bye,
care.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.